Joining me now, former DHS Acting Deputy Chief of Staff, Lora Ries. Lora, good evening to you. Let's start with the 21-point plan. Some are saying that this is just too little, too late. It's the administration's way of saying, see, we're doing something, but they're not really doing much.
Yes, it is a repackaging of what they've been talking about since the campaign. And part of that includes seeking amnesty for the many millions of illegal aliens who are here currently in the country, which Americans simply don't want. And so Congress now is seeking a trick to use a reconciliation tactic to pass amnesty when they can't get 60 votes. They are trying to get it through just using 51 votes, and it should be voted down.
Right, and we're talking about this while we're having a conversation about infrastructure. Infrastructure, my textbook definition of it would be finishing the wall. That's not something that we're going to do. But we're talking about human infrastructure, which really doesn't have a place in this conversation at all. It could be a separate conversation.
Yes, and in that 21-point plan, the Biden administration said that the border wall is needless. I would encourage them to talk to their Border Patrol agents who have repeatedly asked for the wall and that it be completed. Declaring it needless is ignoring the agents who are on the ground and who have asked for that infrastructure for many years, and the border wall really should be completed.
I want to talk about what's actually going on down there. We try to shine a light on that story by sending our reporters down. We've got some tweets tonight that I want to share with you. One tweet coming from Chief Patrol Agent Brian Hastings saying, quote, "The searing hot summer claims another life this morning. A migrant's journey fatally ended on a vast ranch in Falfurrias today, and a failure to yield causes property damage for a South Texas landowner, all while RGV USBB agents apprehend close to 6,000 migrants this weekend alone. We are talking about a system that is stressed here. We are talking about dangerous conditions, not just for the Americans that are fighting this for us right now, but also for the folks who are trying to cross at this point. This isn't healthy for anybody."
No, it isn't. This is beyond crisis. It's chaos, and it endangers lives. And you're right, both the agents and the migrants themselves. And this administration continues to encourage more to come. This is not seasonal. Normally numbers go down due to the heat, and they are continuing to historic numbers. And it is a humanitarian crisis. The Biden administration needs to not only change its messaging, but also its policies and start enforcing the law to show that there are consequences and that people will not get into the U.S. and will not be permitted to stay here. Otherwise, they will continue to come and endanger their own lives.
Lora, you made a previous comment and you said that Americans don't want illegals here. Yes, we have an immigration system. We want people to come to the country lawfully, but we don't want them crossing illegally. I agree with you, and I think some Americans feel that way as well. But there are other Americans, as Karl Rove pointed out to me, who believe that we really should have a system with open borders and that we have no right at all to deny access. What do you say to that?
Well, we are a sovereign nation like every other country on earth. And with that, we deserve and have a right to have an orderly, lawful immigration system. And the U.S. continues to provide the most generous immigration system in the world. We give green cards, for example, to over 1 million people each year. And so we need members in Congress, the Biden administration, everyone to encourage people to use our very generous lawful immigration system and not to come here unlawfully.
Kamala Harris has been tasked with handling the crisis at the border. Many people are giving her an F for essentially ignoring the problem. Where does she go from here?
Good question. She's traveled to Central America. She made a very last-minute tacit trip down to El Paso, and it has been crickets from her since then. And so it seems to be form over substance. Yeah. This administration shows that they are not serious about securing our border or enforcing our laws.
In the last 15 seconds, if I may ask you, we talk about drug smuggling across the border as well. It's a huge problem. Year to date, more than 62,000 pounds of cocaine have been seized. We are not even at the end of the year just yet. That number is staggering. Your thoughts?
It is staggering, and Americans will die from these drugs. How many Americans need to die before this administration is going to lift a finger and change its border policies to start shutting down the smuggling of the drugs and the migrants?
Yeah, when it came to President Trump, he was very passionate about the border for many reasons, but the drug reason was one of his top priorities. He talked about it all the time. Lora Ries, I really appreciate your time tonight. Such a sensitive topic, but we appreciate you coming on to give us your insight.
Thank you.
All right.